Hello everybody, welcome to Performance on Wheels. Thank you guys for joining us on our journey and allowing us to hit 2,000 subscribers. In doing so, I bought the most fun car I could find for under $10,000. It's got a big old turbo, a 5-speed manual, and it is 2 feet longer than a smart car. This is the 2013 Fiat 500 Abarth. I do think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I could be totally wrong, honestly. Everybody pronounces it different, so I think I'm right. I don't know.
Guys, we just reviewed the best car you can buy under 60 grand. Let's see what makes the Abarth, the best car under 10 grand.
$5,800 I spent on this Fiat 500 Abarth, and it has 40,000 miles on it in beautiful condition. Why did I get it for that price, you may ask? It's been in an accident, it didn't have back seats, and the bumper was hanging off. Just picked this up 2 days ago. The shifter is really stiff, so right down here is the gear linkage. We're gonna mess around with this a little bit to see if we can loosen that up. It's a common problem on these Fiats. Also, when I purchased the car, this bumper was not fully attached. As you can see, this clip here, it's a bit loose. So we're gonna try to stiffen that up, get this bumper fully on. Another thing that is super important, it has a clean title even though it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a very damaging accident, very easy to fix. Now, for I'd say probably an hour and a half I worked on this car, and I got it to a $10,000 plus condition in what it's in now. This car is now in beautiful condition with very minimal work.
This is how Austin bought the car. Other than the rear insulation on the floor, this was it. There was no rear seat. And if you have ever been in a 500 that has a rear seat, it's not a very enjoyable experience. And I mean that from multiple perspectives. It's not enjoyable if you have to sit in it, and it also makes the cabin feel more claustrophobic. So I think these make brilliant 2-passenger cars. Let's show you how we remedied that look.
So what we're gonna do is make a flat piece to cover this entire thing. To do a more successful seat delete, we are taking out the back seatbelt bracket. This is where we are at for the rear seat delete mold. So this is how the rear seat delete is coming along. We're just using some plywood. We cut up. This is to go around the amplifier in the trunk. We don't have the Beats audio option, otherwise yours would have a massive chunk about right there. But that's what it's looking like so far. We have some supports on the back side, so it's going to be on stilts a hair, but it's going to look a lot cleaner.
So this is it, guys. This is what we came up with. And it's pretty darn simple. We just bought some cheap carpet, a cheap 1/8" piece of hardboard material. We put some spacers on here so we'd clear the seat humps. And $30 later, in about 3 hours of time, here's what we got.
Check that out.
So this is what a 6-foot tall, 220-pound male looks like in the back of a Fiat 500.
The average asking price for a Fiat 500 Abarth from the 2013 through 15 model year, 15 was a revamp, but they're still around the same price. They're going to be around $10, $12, $13, $14,000 with 90+ thousand miles. So the fact that I got this one for $5,800 with 40,000 miles on it is truly outstanding. You are not going to find another 500 for this deal.
Back around the 2004 era, Fiat was starting to notice the wild popularity of the smart car. And with this wild popularity, they thought it would be the perfect time to release a prototype, bringing back the legend, the Fiat 500. By 2011, the Fiat 500 had reached American shores. Now, they had very high expectations and very high hopes for the Fiat 500, being that its release in Europe just a few years prior was exceeding expectations. They sold out on orders of the Fiat 500 when it was released. Now, when we talk size, you have to when you're talking about the 500, because you will hear that quite often as you're enjoying your drive, that it's cute, that it's small, that it's so adorable. You hear all these things, but is it really that small? This is about as extreme for a size comparison as we can get. A Suburban to the Abarth. I feel like I can hug it. I just want to get up in here and I feel like I can give it a great big hug. The 500, when they were going after that smart car, they wanted something better. They wanted a back seat, and by golly, with that extra 2 feet in length, they put one in it. But is it even worth it? The original translation of the car when it was in concept form translated to 3+1, meaning 3 adults plus a child. So you can fit 3 adults plus a child. This is by far the biggest flaw of the Fiat 500, the passenger seat. Guys, and it could have been remedied so easy. The reason it is the way it is for that 3+1 factor. 3 adults, 1 child. They have the seat up so high so this person can get forward. They have a nice deep footwell, but then the person behind you can tuck in under the seat. But guys, it's so uncomfortable. Everything about it. You're sitting up high. I feel like I'm in a dump truck or something. And I have no adjustment.
Wanting to make this car look like my own, and just kind of because I was bored over quarantine, I went ahead and put some tint over the headlights, blacked out the emblems just to make it look a little more manly, simply because it doesn't from the factory. And I put a few stickers on it. Don't let that fool you. This car is completely stock. Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I do have to say I'm very proud of you. This is your first car. You bought it on your own. You did the negotiations. And even though you had enough money to buy it in cash, you went through the process of taking out a loan so you can start to build your credit.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of myself, being 18, making my first car purchase, doing all the negotiations that you taught me. I do think I did a good job.
I do as well. Well done.
Thank
so
you.
what makes this the best car under $10,000?
What makes this the best car under $10,000 in my opinion is I needed a car that was a blast to drive. This does that easily. I needed a car that was comfortable.
It only goes 0 to 60 in like seven and a half
it's
seconds. It's
not about that, because it doesn't feel like that. It feels like 4. Like a car of this wheelbase, I mean, you're hitting bumps at the same time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This car, it feels much faster than it is, and it has a lot of power for what it is.
I agree.
So another reason is I like the way it looks. It looks like a classic rally car to me. I'm into that.
If you look at the Fiat 500 from the late 50s, early 60s.
You want to know what's really funny? This makes that car looks like a shrimp.
It was, yeah. That was probably more in line with the smart car size.
It's smaller than a smart car. Seriously, like you look at a picture of one of those, it goes to like here. I'm not kidding. It's so small.
I bet it was an absolute riot, even though it only had like 40 horsepower or something.
Probably more like 6.
Yeah.
But I think it's comfortable. I think it looks awesome. I think it's a blast to drive. It sounds fantastic.
How much horsepower does it have?
It has 160 horsepower, 170 pound-feet of torque when the sport mode is on.
Okay.
And then it produces 18 pounds of boost.
Now, what is that over a normal 500? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, it is 60% more horsepower and the same for torque as well. So it's a pretty substantial jump.
Okay, so the stock 500, the non-turbo one, that only has like 100 horsepower.
Yeah, basically. I think it's 105.
Okay.
I could be mistaken. But not only do you get more power, this is a completely different car. You get a lot of aero stuff that we viewed when we looked it up, or we lifted it up. It gets bigger brakes. It gets a lower suspension with a lot more stiffness in there as well. It also gets, with that sport mode, it stiffens up the steering, changes pedal response, increases boost. it really is a completely different car from the standard 500.
Now, in a car like this, I would never recommend getting an automatic transmission. And none of
No.
the competition, like the Fiesta ST, I know you can't get an automatic.
It's actually a very poor decision to get an automatic.
But you can, right?
You
And
can,
then- okay.
yes. And I'm going to tell you why it's a poor decision. They actually have a lot of issues because when you have such a low horsepower car with an automatic transmission, it actually can result in problems with the transmission with that low
Interesting.
horsepower.
Okay.
Yeah, so that there is issues with that automatic transmission. And the automatic transmission is only on the 2015 up. You cannot get it on the 13 or 14, or I think there's an 11 and 12 as well. I could be mistaken on that.
So guys, if you're looking at this car, you do have to understand there's something really special about driving a car to the limits. And that's what you can do in the 500 Abarth.
I drive this car to the limit every day I drive it, and it's so much fun pushing a car to the limit. In the $60,000 Jaguar F-Type we just purchased, you're not hitting the limit even close on the road.
No, that'll pucker you up, that's for sure.
Yeah, you want to hit that pedal, you want to go through the gears, but you're breaking laws by second.
Well, by first in some cases, but yeah, but there's just something to be said about, like you said, going through the gears, enjoying a turn, enjoying the sound of the exhaust.
Oh gosh,
it's intoxicating.
It is absolutely fantastic for a 4-cylinder.
Let's check out where all the fun takes place. 6 feet tall, 220 pounds, guys. There's a lot of strong opinions about the interior, about the seats, about the sitting position of the Abarth. So guys, we can obviously recline the seats. The reclining's over on the right-hand side. We have our little string here to go forward if we did have that back seat. And then we got our pumper over on the driver's seat to go up and down. Pump up, pump down, pump it up, pump it up. So guys, from there, getting comfortable and making it really feel like the way you want it is a bit of a challenge. There's been 2 different occasions on this car when I release this and I go to pull the steering wheel out because I want it closer to me, I want it further from me. There's just something about it that's not right. Now, there's a lot of people that say the steering wheel is awkwardly big. I don't have an issue with that. I like the way the steering wheel looks. I like the way the steering wheel feels. However, I don't like how close I have to be to get my arms in the position that I would like to be aggressively driving in. And I get this close, and obviously shifting gears isn't going to be very enjoyable. So that's definitely one of the flaws of the Fiat 500.
It's so hard to talk about a car that I love so much, but Todd he's right. The sitting position is just awkward. When I'm driving for long periods of times, I'm literally having major cramps in my calves because it's like pushing straight down on the pedal rather than pushing in. So my foot's sitting here like this while I'm trying to go 60, and I just don't always want to use cruise control. When I first bought this car, this took 2 hands to move back and forth. That's how stiff this shifter was. We took out the battery tray, got down into the shifting bearings, lubed them up a bit. It looked like they've already been replaced. That's an issue on these. And it doesn't bounce between 3rd and 4th like a normal gearbox should, but it is a lot more fun to go through the gears, in my opinion, than it was when I bought it. And I kind of like pushing it into 3rd. Now for the rest of the interior, pretty self-explanatory, super easy to use. Mine is one of the only ones you're ever going to find that's buttons are not worn out at all. Truly impressive. Usually these are all white and stuff. I'm very impressed that all my buttons are in great condition. Now for up here, it's pretty self-explanatory and easy to use. You just go through your menu, you got tons of options, substantially more than you would think on this car.
So what does one of these cost new?
The sticker price on this one was exactly $26,000.
Holy crap, that's painful.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for this car, isn't it?
I couldn't do it.
This interior is absolutely fantastic for a $5,000 car, though, isn't it?
Or maybe an $8,000 car. I mean, come on. You got, like, heated seats. You got fog lights. You got Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm. The Bluetooth, everything works fantastic.
You got steering wheel controls.
Yeah. The only complaint I have about the entire interior, mine does not have the Beats audio package, and I have found that even with the bass turned down, I have lots of shakes and vibrations, which is kind of annoying. Might be a must to get a subwoofer at some point, unfortunately. Way at corners is one of my favorite parts. All right, hurry up, down to second. Slow down a little bit, clutch out. Listen to that. Yes, and grip. Lots of it. Jeez, turbo, clutch. Oh boy, shift. Oh man, it's a rush. Another one, and apex, out. Oh man, does this thing corner. Last roundabout, go in, apex. Oh boy, it's a beast. If you are oh so precise, you can floor it in fifth and get a massive pop. Let's try it again. It just becomes addicting and a part of driving. You just have to make it pop. Not always super loud, but it's always there. It does that in way more gears than just fifth too. If you get close to the red line, it'll start popping a lot, and it's just an enjoyable experience. There's a lot more to this exhaust than I can show you on a video. You really need to hear one in person. Very similar to our F-Type when it comes to just a beautiful, awesome sound. I want to show you something that's really interesting. So here is accelerating with sport mode off. So it is not quick at all with sport mode off, and it is a completely different animal with sport mode on. That was 12 pounds of boost. Let's go up to 18 and have 30 more torque. Here is a takeoff with sport mode on.
60.
Way faster. Whole new animal.
It's fun. Even from the passenger seat, it puts you back in your seat. Whether it's the compact size, whether it's the turbo boost, I don't know, but it's fun. It's a fun experience.
It's serious. Do you not agree that it feels like a completely different car between those two modes?
It is. When you're in the driver's seat, you get the experience of the size and the noise and everything. When you're in the passenger seat, you get some awesome pushback. It's enjoyable.
So one of the reasons this car is so slow compared to the competitors is off the line is where it is slow. This car has like real old cars with turbos. It takes forever for that boost to load up. And that's why this car is so much slower to 60 than the other cars. Where if you were in second at a higher RPM, this car keeps up, if not surpasses its competitors because of the weight and because of that torque.
I think this is an amazing car for a young man like my son or a young gal. This is a great young person car. But I wouldn't end it there. I think this is a car that even us adults can enjoy for fun. I don't know that this would be a daily driver for me by any means. However, if this was a toy car, an errand runner, an autocross car, I think it would be an absolute amazing experience, and I would sign up for it in a heartbeat.
As you can see here, I do not have it in sport mode right now, so the shift points are super early. As you can see, my boost gauge is telling me to shift up right here.
This is it. Who is buying dinner? 1.6 liters versus 8.1 liters. Three, two, one, go.
That wasn't fair at all. I totally should have won that. I forgot to put my car in sport mode. I was down pretty much 10 pounds of boost and like 30 something torque. So stupid. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on Performance on Wheels to find the funnest car under 10 grand that is reliable, gets good gas mileage, and is just an absolute blast.
Enthusiast driven, that's for sure. That's what makes it cool. Guys, and what this proves is it doesn't matter if you have a $50,000 car or a $10,000 or a $5,000 car. if you love cars, you love the experience that you get from them, you can have that same experience regardless if it's $50,000 or $5,000.
Exactly. And I think that we are going to make a video comparing a $50,000 to a $10,000 car, seeing is it really worth spending that much money on a car? Can you have just as much fun in a cheap car?
Guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's start a conversation down below about the Abarth.
Yeah, I want to know what you guys want to see me do with this Abarth. What you guys like about it, what you want to see progress on our channel with the Abarth, the F-Type, the AMG. What do you guys like about our vehicles? What can we do in the future, and what car should we review in the future? Thank you guys again for watching this video. If you want to see that Jaguar we were talking about, here it is right here. If you want to see us tune a Camry, that is right here. And if you want to see how awesome the classic Suzuki Samurai is, that's right here. Subscribe right here. Have a great day, everybody.